Going on a trip, the first thing we see when we get off the plane is the airport. Have you ever thought about what this or that air harbor might be famous for? Has it occurred to you which of them are the biggest and how many people are there every day? In this episode, we'll visit airports in Europe, Asia, America, Africa, and Australia. We'll find out which of the airports are the largest, we'll see the features in the architecture, and analyze some of the secrets hidden during construction. Recently, Istanbul International Airport took the first place in passenger traffic, moving Paris Charles de Gaulle and London Heathrow. In 2019, Heathrow received more than 80 million passengers, but lost its position, losing 60 million passengers by this year. Passenger traffic last year amounted to only 20 million, but Istanbul Airport received 37 million passengers in 2021. It turns out that every day the Istanbul airport passes 102,000 people. Now it serves more than 350 domestic and international destinations in 110 countries. And imagine, it is not even the half of its capabilities. In general, the airport is able to receive about 150 million travelers annually, and it's planned to expand passenger traffic to 200 million by 2025. Then it will become the largest in the world. In general, Turkey ranks 6th among European countries with the highest volume of air traffic. There are an average of 3.5 thousand flights per day. The area of Istanbul Airport is 1.2 million square meters. This transport hub was named Istanbul Yali Havalimanı. Sorry for pronunciation, I'm not great at Turkish. It translates as the new Istanbul Airport. Preliminary estimates show that the new airport cost the authorities $12.5 billion. There are 77 gates in total, the parking lot can accommodate 500 aircraft, and there are 44 prayer rooms. Next, we go to Asia. One of the world leaders is the King Fahd Airport in Saudi Arabia. Its infrastructure was built by 1990. Thanks to this, the airport could be used by troops during the Persian Gulf War in 1991. As for commercial flights, the airport was opened to passengers in November of 1999. This airport is listed in the Guinness Book of Records as the largest in the world. Its area is 776 square kilometers, which is even more than the neighboring country of Bahrain, which has an area of 766 square kilometers. The terminals have 6 levels, and one of them is a grand piano, which serves only the royal family. The airport has its own mosque for 2,000 people. But if we consider the airport from the point of view of passenger traffic, then it will lose to others since its location is not very convenient. Most passengers prefer to use the air harbor in Bahrain. The Royal Airport is located 25 kilometers from the city of Dammam, and it serves up to 4 million passengers a year. In second place among the largest airports in Asia is Beijing, Daxing, China. Its area is 46 square kilometers, which is 1.5 times larger than Paris Charles de Gaulle. One of its chips is a terminal in the shape of a 6-pointed starfish. Due to this, its passengers navigate faster at the boarding gates. Also, each part of the star is dedicated to Chinese cultural objects. Tea, silkscreen, or porcelain. In 2021, the airport received 25 million passengers. It is predicted that by 2040 it will become the busiest in the world. The USA, the largest airport in America by area, 135 square kilometers, Denver Airport. But its size is far from the most interesting. The Denver hub is rightfully considered one of the strangest and most mysterious. The terminal is covered with tents which symbolize the Rocky Mountains. But there is another version. It is said that there was an Indian cemetery at this place. Since the Indians were against the construction of anything, it was decided to build an airport with tents which actually symbolize Indian wigwams. Thus, it was possible to talk to the Native Americans, paying tribute to their people. The airport was opened in 1995 and it took $4 billion to build it. Its area was twice the size of Manhattan, and the locals began to wonder why it was necessary to build such a huge airport. Moreover, according to some sources, several secret rooms were built on the territory at first. Therefore, many people think that secret facilities are actually located under the airport. If you visit this place one day, you'll be surprised by the local statue in the form of the horse of the apocalypse, whose eyes burned ominously red around the clock. This masterpiece was created by the American sculptor Luis Jimenez from 1993 to 2006, until he was killed by his own work of art. A massive statue in the form of a horse fell and crushed the genius of controversial works. To some time, another sculpture was added to the horse, the Egyptian deity Anubis, the patron saint of the dead and cemeteries, who is also one of the judges of the Kingdom of the Dead. Africa. The area of the largest African air harbor is 16 square kilometers. We're talking about the Olivier Tambo International Airport near Johannesburg. It was named after the former president of the African National Congress. It is South Africa's main airport, serving domestic and international flights. It's also the busiest airport in Africa. In 2007, the airport served 19 million passengers. Interestingly, the airport is located at an altitude of 1700 meters above sea level. At this altitude, the air is less dense than at the bottom. This has a significant impact on the operation of the aircraft. Let me give you an example. A flight from Johannesburg to Washington makes a landing in the car for refueling, since the plane cannot take off with a full tank. Due to the low air density, the aircraft needs a longer runway for takeoff so it can take off with a full tank and a full cargo and passenger load. At the same time, when it flies back from Washington, it flies without landing. And this flight is one of the longest in the world. Another continent is Australia. Many mistakenly consider the Australian Sydney airport to be the largest on the continent, but in fact it is the largest in terms of workload. It serves an average of 8 million passengers per year. Sydney's Kingsford Smith Airport is also known for having its runways right in the water. Also at this airport, an observation deck was specially designed from which you can watch the planes take off and land. The airport was opened on the 3rd of May 1970 by Queen Elizabeth II. As for the largest airport by area, this is the Brisbane Airport. Its area is 27 square kilometers. There are more than 430 enterprises located on its territory, which provide 21,000 jobs. In 2005, this airport was awarded the IATA Eagle Award, and later Skytrack recognized it as the best airport in the Australian Pacific region. My friends, that's it for the largest airports in the world. Thank you if you have watched up to this point. If you have been to one of the airports, please share your impressions in the comments. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like it and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. For your convenience, all links will be in the description. See you in the next videos.